One of the goals that I set myself for our 3 months to change your life challenge was to release not 1, but 2 digital products. At the start of this week, I have released neither of those, and we only have 2 to 3 weeks of the challenge remaining, depending on what happens in reset week. So I wanted to see if I could get both of them released by the end of the week. That might be a bit of an ask, especially because there's still other things going on during the week, but to see how I got on, we're gonna have to go back to Monday morning. Good morning, happy Monday. I have successfully gotten out of bed without letting social media lag creep in, which I'm feeling very positive about. What a good way to start the week. I'm actually just really excited about this week for, getting back to proper prepared breakfasts and lunches and just taking better care of myself in general, mainly nutritionally, to be honest. But taking care of myself also does mean getting my exercise in, so I'm going to get on the walking pad and do my 25 to 30 minutes that I like to do, and then it'll be time to officially start the week. I have a lot that I want to get done this week, especially after kind of taking it easy last week, and I'm quite excited to get into it. Last week I started talking about the idea of possibly trying to change my exercise time to be the afternoon rather than the morning, which I can understand the benefits of, from being able to start my day in a more peaceful way without having to wake up earlier, yes. But I do also feel very accomplished when I start the day with exercise. So that's kind of a nice way to feel when you're first getting into doing things. Oh, sun. So I'm thinking for this week at least, I'm going to stick with the morning exercise, and then maybe for the next iteration of the challenge, maybe then I'll play around with my daily schedule a little bit differently. And while I could definitely take this as oh no, that's a failure, you said you were gonna do this thing and now you're not gonna do it and yada yada, I just like to think of it as testing my assumptions about the way things have to be. For the longest time, I've done my exercise in the morning because I felt I kind of had to do it that way, otherwise it wouldn't get done. But it did still definitely get done last week, even if it wasn't in the morning. So it's just an opportunity to prove to myself that it doesn't have to be that way, even if right now I kind of want it to be that way. We are feeling clean and ready to tackle the day, and in terms of general aims for this week, 1, get lots of stuff done. 2, don't, completely exhaust myself trying to do it. I don't want to undo the efforts that we had from last week, where it was very much energy, recuperation, and all of that. So I want to make sure that I'm still mindful of when my work boundaries are and all of that kind of thing. But today's main focus is going to be editing the vlog, and then hopefully, I'm thinking if I can get that done quickly, maybe editing another video as well. At least that's my personal aim, is to edit 2 videos. It might end up being just 1, but I'm determined right now. That does mean that I'm going to be using the Epic Goals work-along session for this week to do editing, just because I really want to get ahead on that, or at least get back ahead on that, get ahead on that, because before the wedding I was ahead, and then I was exhausted last week and kind of fell behind again. Hello, how's it going? No, that seems like a good place to be in, especially because I know the end of the year, we want to kind of finish the year strong and get stuff done and all of that kind of thing to make, end of year us proud and whatnot. It's just making sure we're keeping very much in mind, yeah, but there's life that happens as well, so sure it's 3 months, but it's how much of that is usable time as well. My first protocol is to tidy up my desk enough so that I feel like it can be operational. It doesn't look that bad from this angle, but right in front of me, it's So that'll probably be the first thing. That should only take 5 minutes though. And then because last week was kind of an energy slump type week, post-wedding and all of that, it means that I'm feeling a little behind on work, so I'm probably going to use the majority of our session to do work. For some reason, I thought I had less footage this week than I have had previously, but that's okay. I still think we can get this done in a timely manner. I'm feeling positive. We can do this. Our Epic Goals work along has wrapped up now, and I was actually very impressed with how much I did get done. Usually, I manage to make it through maybe Monday and part of Tuesday, possibly Monday and Tuesday in full. This time I managed to get through Monday, Tuesday, and part of Wednesday. So the vlog editing is definitely happening. I'm riding that train, feeling pretty good about it. I don't want to call anything. I don't want to make any bold claims I'm gonna get this finished by lunchtime, because we all know how well that turns out. Anytime I make a time prediction, I swear I just underestimate it. So no predictions from me, just to know I'm feeling good about the progress I'm making. Anyways, back to work. With the sounding of the alarm, it means that it is time for lunch, and most excitingly, it is a pre-prepared lunch, yellow curry. I'm looking forward to it. In terms of progress that we've made through the vlog so far, I am up to about 47-ish minutes done. That does mean I still have about 2 hours of footage left to look through, but I'm feeling pretty good about it, considering I'm now on Friday, and last week at 2 p.m. I was only at Tuesday, so I'm doing pretty okay. It is 3:20 and we are exporting the vlog. And I've already made the thumbnail, so double plus good on that. Feeling very accomplished. We have one more work block left for the day, and although I did want to get through a second video, I don't actually have the edited files for it yet, so I might just write down some talking points and I can do that tomorrow. Really what I'm going to do is go and consult my task list so that I can pick effectively. This is what we're looking at in terms of work tasks at the moment. So notably I am uploading this one, so that's all good. I need to do a thumbnail and a watch page for this one, which is actually going to get streamed on this day. So once I've done that, I might just go and see if there's anything else I can do for any of these other ones. Essentially just doing some general work admin time. The work admin happened and I'm feeling pretty good about what I managed to get accomplished. And in terms of dinner, we ended up having homemade fish and chips, and Vogel did a very good job of it. But something else that I decided to do was take off my nails. You can see how successful that has been. I'm getting there. God, it's a mission. But what's worse is that the sink plug has gotten stuck, so I can't unplug the sink. So now the sink looks kind of like something from a horror scene. So I need to try and figure out how to solve that. But I also need to finish doing this, because as you can see from this one, it's not finished. And these ones are getting there, but the thumb needs a little bit of work, and so do a couple of the other ones. This is part of the reason why I'm considering doing press-ons instead of going to a nail salon to get my nails done from now on. Mainly because I find the glue from press-ons just easier to remove than like proper nail polish kind of stuff. Because I quite like having my nails done, I just don't like to keep them for as long as the salon recommends you to. And because my nails grow as fast as they do, I get those trenches and they just bother me. So last week I ended up putting in a nail order, and I've got some different ones that I can play around with. So I got a little pale purpley kind of one, a dark blue set that has some glitter nails, a little red set, and then this kind of funky looking pink and marble one. Certainly not going to be applying those right now, or tonight, or probably even this week in general. Want to give these guys some time to recover, but it is nice to have options. I'm going to see if I can get this thing off with a plunger. Maybe? No. Nope. Oh god, it's stuck. What if I go out and then over? And then up? I did it! I may or may not be apocalyptically proud of myself, but now I need to clean up this sink. This sink is looking much tidier now, as are my nails, so it's time to go do something else. What I actually think is the most important is that this is the first Monday throughout the challenge that I have respected the work boundaries. For now though, I think I'm gonna go and do some stretching, because it's been a while. Tiny stretch routine is now done. I think that part of the reason why I kept putting off stretching is that I had picked a routine that was 30 minutes long, which fitting 30 minutes into your day, like, yes, technically doable, but it has to usually be done quite intentionally. Fitting 5 minutes into your day though can usually be done a bit more mindlessly, or like you can find some pocket somewhere that you could fit that in. So I think that this might be the routine that I stick with for a while. Also, given the fact that it's only 5 minutes, it'll be easier to remember, and I might get to a point where I don't really need the video to be able to do it. Now though, we have 4 exciting things all related to reading. 1, the book club poll is going up at the end of this week. I still haven't picked the books for it. I'm still very excited about the prospect of picking books for it, because any of the recommendations coming in are ones that have one of the YA power words, and by that I mean words like dark, crown, midnight, ice, fire, song, court, like all of those really common, typical YA fantasy kind of words. A court of blank and blank, blank of blank, all of those kind of things. We've gotten a lot of recommendations so far. I need to go and have a look at them, so that at the end of the week is going up, yay, which if you want to join our book club, it is free. We would love to have you with us. There's a link in the description box. But 2, at the end of this week, we are also having a reading retreat. That's where Monica and Rachel come over and we just do like a full day of reading, get all cozy, get our blankets, put on some ambiance kind of noise, have some snacks, and read a bunch of stuff. I have no idea what I'm going to be reading, but I'm still looking forward to it. 3, Rachel, Monica, and I are also starting a Sisterhood of the Traveling Book type deal, where essentially we pick a book, we read said book, and we go through and annotate it in our own personal color. Mine's purple. You probably could have guessed that, but anyway. And then once we have annotated our own book, the next month it gets passed to the next person. So for instance, I will pass my book to Rachel, Rachel will pass hers to Monica, Monica will pass hers to me, and then we have a month to read it and annotate it again. So as I go through Monica's book, I'm going to get to read all of Monica's annotations while I read the book as well. So I'm very excited for that. I think it's going to be a fun project, because then the month after that, it gets passed to the final person. So my book that went to Rachel will go to Monica, Rachel's book that went to Monica will go to me, and Monica's book that went to me will go to Rachel. official. Again, we'll read it, we'll annotate it, and then in the final month, which will be December, we'll hand it back to the original person. So it essentially ends up being like a little kind of keepsake. I haven't picked the book that I'm going to be doing that with yet. I have an idea. We'll talk more about that in a second. But the fourth thing is that I am going to start my second self-help book today. I haven't picked what it is. I'm going to have to go and have a look at what I've got available, but it'll feel good to finally have that started. First of all, though, I do want to think about which book I'm using for the Sisterhood of the Traveling book, and part of me just wants to pick a Court of Mist and Fury because I love that book so much. Yes, it is the second in a series, but Rachel and Monica have both already read the first one, so I don't think it'll be that bad. Plus, I have already said that I'm allowed to pick it if I want to. It's just that that one was probably the book that made me fall in love with reading again. Like, it brought me back into the fold. Don't get me wrong, I did very much enjoy A Court of Thorns and Roses too. That was a good book, but you know when you read a book and you feel like it speaks to your soul and it was like made for you? Yeah, that is what A Court of Mist and Fury is for me. I love that book so much. And now I'm just excited to reread it, so maybe I will just pick it. Of course, to actually do a Sisterhood of a Traveling book, we need to go and purchase said book. So I am going to go and do that now. Ooh, options. There we go, the book has been purchased. Now to start my second self-help book, and I think I'm gonna read Slow Productivity by Cal Newport, The Lost Art of Accomplishment Without Burnout. It feels kind of timely. Very pleased with the amount of reading time I got in, so I'm about a third of the way through the book now, though I haven't gone and checked how many pages of the book is like reference material or anything. So I feel like I'm doing good work. I'm making sure to highlight as I go so that I can kind of summarize the notes at some point when I've actually finished the book. That is not a right now task though, because right now we are going to bed. It is 10:30. I am in the bed. You can check that off my task list. So good night. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. I'm feeling very positive because I did not let the phone lag get to me by putting the phone in the phone B&B last night and knowing that Vogel needed to get up and have a shower and I wanted to do my morning weigh-in and all of that. We were out of bed. We were ready to get on the walking pad. Things going well. I just know that it didn't feel like I was in a rush yesterday morning when getting to the Epic Goals work along because I actually got out of bed with my alarm as opposed to letting myself lag and lounge in bed, just being like, oh, I just need to relax for a little bit more and I just need to go on Reels and see what the world has to offer. No, need to fill up my bottle because I want to be hydrated. I think I'm also just feeling good that I actually managed to start my book yesterday. I've been putting that on my priorities list for a couple of weeks now, so to have it actually started feels pretty good. Plus, I'm also quite enjoying the book so far too. For now though, the walking pad is waiting, and I'm gonna watch some YouTube while I walk. Feeling fresh and clean now, and in terms of work today, I think what I'm gonna get started on is planning my new journal setup. Technically speaking, I have already started planning it, but I don't know what theme I'm going with. I haven't confirmed the pages or the page order or how they're gonna look or anything like that. So I think I'll do that for probably the most part of today. Sadly, the reading journal footage isn't quite ready for me yet, so that's gonna be a tomorrow task. But I have written down some other bits and pieces that I can get started on. Haven't put in a header for the day yet, so I might want to start with that. There we go. Much better. After much umming and ahhing, I think the theme I'm going to go with is this one, which is a theme that I have used repeatedly, mainly because I love it. The problem is you can't get this tape set anymore, which is why I'm always kind of reluctant to use it. But because the front of the journal I'm using is very celestial and gold themed, and so are those tapes, it feels like it just makes sense. Another part of me wanted to do a kind of like cozy bookish type theme, but it doesn't match the journal. Not that it has to, but I feel like this is just a really good opportunity to do something celestial. Now as I have the general theme pieces, I need to think about the pages and the page order. Thankfully I did already start writing myself a list, but I don't think it's as complete as I would like it. So I started brainstorming a couple other ideas and then I just need to sequence them. I do always love new journal setup time, but it feels very weird to be setting one up now because usually it would be like 6 months, as opposed to 6 months, 3 months, 3 months. So for instance, my current journal that I thought was gonna last me 6 months, foolish Jessica, is only gonna last me 3, which means October through to December is gonna be in the new one. But I actually kind of like that because it essentially makes it a quarterly setup, which goes with the 3 months change your life challenge, goes with my goal setting in general. It's like kind of nice symmetry in those life areas. But then I'm also questioning, do I keep that for next year? I don't know, because usually for my new year journal setup, I do that a fair bit earlier or a fair bit more in advance than I would typically do a regular journal setup. Like for instance, this one is supposed to start in October, so I'm sitting here at the kind of like, you know, third of the way through September setting it up. Whereas for my New Year journal, I will usually do that 2 months in advance of the new year because videos and algorithms and yada yada. So it's gonna be a little weird when I set this one up and then a month and a half later start thinking about the next setup, if I keep that schedule. Anyways, that's a future me problem. I think I have my general page order sorted, so that's looking pretty cute, which means now it's time to jump into the spread planner and start effectively sketching things out. This digital template is essentially how I plan all of my journal layouts before I put them into my journal, just to make sure I have the right spacing, things are gonna fit nicely, I'm not gonna accidentally rule a line in the wrong place. The nice part about it being digital though is that I don't have to go in and pencil everything out and then stuff something up and erase it and repencil it and all of that kind of thing. I can essentially make a map for myself in the digital template and then just transfer that into my journal using a pen. If you want one for yourself, we do have that available in the little shop, so that one's linked in the description box below. No spoilers, but because when I set up my journal I wanted to reflect real life, I've needed to start thinking about the next set of goals that I might want to work on and actually writing them down so that I can remember them, but more so that I can think of layouts that might assist in those as I try and work on them in the next 3 months. It seems like most people are pretty keen on a second round of Change Your Life, so more information on that to come, but yes, we will be doing another round of it, which I'm very excited for because I think that this first one is going, has been going quite well. Sure, I haven't accomplished everything I want to at this stage, but I've still made really decent progress. For now though, more progress to be made on planning out my new journal setup. Pre-planning my pages is taking me a second, but it is now lunchtime. And even though part of me just really wants to get some hot chips, I'm having my curry and I'm gonna enjoy it. I know I will enjoy it once I've actually heated it up, I just have to go heat it up. While that is heating up though, I need to prepare some more overnight oats. I actually prepared the dry ingredients on the weekend. I just need to get maybe 3 of these out and put the wet ingredients in. There we go, 3 little cuties chilling so I can eat them later. Lunch is finished now though, and I'm quite eager to actually get into setting up my journal. I don't know if it'll actually happen today, but it would be kind of nice. So I'm going to very much try my best to get through the planning stages. I do overthink the planning stages quite often. It can kind of drag out and become a much bigger task than other people would probably let it become. I'm just a little bit particular. I'm a persnickety biscuit and I just want it to be the best setup yet. But I think I probably only have about 3 spreads left to plan, maybe 4, so it shouldn't take too long. Famous last words. I hope to get this done in the next 50 minutes. It's currently 1:40. We're gonna try and get it done by 2:30. The pages have been planned. It is 2:25, and now I'm getting on to setting up the headings. We have a full separate video on the channel about how I do the headings, but I'm playing around with different ligatures this time, which is kind of exciting. I always love a font that lets you customize particular characters to make them just a little bit more fancy, and I thought that this font in particular was kind of nice to go along with the general theme. Still too many ligatures on some of them though, so I'm gonna have to go take a couple of them out. All of the glue that I still had on my fingernails made me feel self-conscious, so I went and put some nails on so that then I can film my setup video. Yay! These will probably come off exactly 5 minutes after I finish filming that. This is a set that I already had. It's not one that I recently got, and I have actually already used them before, so I'm like, rather than getting out a whole new set and figuring out which nail aligns with which finger and yada yada, I just use these ones. They are definitely longer than my preference, but that's okay. We're gonna struggle through this and get the video filmed. That one is filmed, the lights have been turned off, and it is time to go downstairs for dinner. Vogel ended up making us lemon chicken, and while it was tasty, it was also really sweet, which I think is kind of an interesting outcome for me, I guess, from trying to be more mindful about what I'm eating, yada yada. Foods that previously I would have had no problem with, like lemon chicken, now feel aggressively sweet. So we've said that next time we make it, we'll probably just make a double batch with the same amount of sauce, so then the sauce stretches further. It's not quite as sweet on the tongue, but we still get to have lemon chicken. For now though, I'm going to take a couple more shots of my journal, in particular the zoom up parts that happen between different page setups, and then tidy up my desk because it's a mess. That one is exporting, which means it's time to do something else, and probably something relatively chill because it is 8:47. I ended up just taking some time to plan out this week's date night and the next date night that I'm in charge of, mainly because I kept putting it off, and if I don't do anything about planning it, then we won't have a date night this week. And that's something I've really enjoyed from this challenge. That took a little longer than anticipated though, so it is now 9:45, so I'm gonna get into bed and read some more of my book. I've actually been quite enjoying it so far. I mean, I know I'm only like a third of the way through or whatnot, but I like the general concepts in it, and I think that if I actually apply the stuff that I'm learning, it could be very beneficial for me. Something I do very much need to do though is make sure that I fill in my 5-year journal, because I have definitely been slipping on doing that in a timely manner. Not to the extent that I've actually missed days yet, and any of the days that haven't been filled in, which is at least today and yesterday, I have full intentions of filling those in, like right after recording this clip. But I think it's just because over the last couple weeks, with my sleep having been so disrupted, it kind of like broke the routine that I had with that a little bit, or at least hindered it a little bit. But that's okay. The first step to remedy is recognition. So in knowing that it is currently an issue, I can start to do something about that. Turns out I hadn't done the 6th or the 7th or the 8th or today, which is the 9th, but I am up to date now. Well, I'm up to date on the daily entries. I'm not actually up to date on the monthly entries. I need to go back and fill in June, July, August, and at least start September. I usually don't do it until the end of the month, or several months after, it seems. For now though, it is time to put the phone away and get to doing some reading, because after that, it'll be time to go to sleep. So, good night. Good morning, happy Wednesday. The body and I were assaulted last night by a mystery leg cramp. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why it decided to attack, but I did get woken up by it at least 3 times in the night and had to sit up and just kind of like hold my leg and be like, please make it stop. That combined with the fact that it was unseasonably warm, and given the sun is coming out at that kind of angle, I think that it's probably because summer is coming, at least for me. But I do think that the temperature had something to do with the fact that both mine and Vogel's sleep was poor, or at least was frequently interrupted by waking up. But that's okay, we have things to do today. I'm still feeling somewhat refreshed, even if a little bit frustrated. I have 2 packages here, which is always very exciting. One of them is my book, one of them is something else. It says pens on it, so that's kind of exciting too. I'm still waiting on a package from Archer and Olive for the Halloween release, which is a little frustrating because I was supposed to do the unboxing video for their Halloween box, which releases like tonight at 2 a.m. or, you know, tomorrow at 2 a.m. So I think I'm probably not going to be able to get that one done, considering the box hasn't actually arrived yet. Sigh. But for right now, it's time to get onto the walking pad and do some exercise. So I just had to tell you that they ended up being the micron PNs, or the plastic nib microns, which I've been so super eager to try. So this is very exciting. Thank you, Rachel. Today's main task though is going and doing the voiceover for the reading journal setup, which also meant filming the close-up shots, which is why the lights are on, as is the camera. And I am sitting in a dark little den of solitude. Not that it looks dark right now. Here, we'll turn the light off. There we go. Dark little den of solitude. Though I'm gonna go and open the curtain now, because it's a little bit nicer to sit in an office that is better lit. Get the vitamin D and all of that kind of stuff. Yay, the Archer and Olive order arrived! Ah, excited! We have the cutie little bat design with the moon and some stars and sparkles. We have the Lunar Veil one, which has the moon in this kind of tarot card design. And of course, spine design, holographic, beautiful. And then this super gorgeous snake and key one on a square. And oh my gosh, I love this one. Like too much probably, but it's beautiful. And this one also has decal edges on the side, which is kind of fun too. And spine design. We love spine design. And we also got the Archer and Olive Halloween box, which I'm now going to film an unboxing for. Ideally, this would have arrived a little sooner so I could do this in a less rushed manner, but we're going to make it awesome. It's going to be great. I've literally had to take to filming in my closet because I couldn't get these to glow in the dark in my office. It was too bright there. The reading journal setup is now exporting, which I'm very pleased about because that one was my priority for the day. One of the things that I like to do is set myself a priority task or like mini project for each day to make sure that I get something done that I can feel accomplished about or like proud of at the end of the day. Today it was the reading journal setup video. Technically speaking, I wanted to do that on Monday. And then I pushed it off to yesterday. And then I didn't have the footage, so I pushed it off to today. And then the box for, you know, Archer and Olive Halloween release arrived, so I made a video for that. So that kind of took some time away from it. I'm glad that I got that done. But now it is time to head off to the Midweek Mafia hangout. Heading off very hungrily though, because I have not had lunch because I was making the unboxing for the Halloween box. A very enjoyable evening with my friends. We ended up just mostly watching some YouTube, hanging out, a little teeny bit of journaling, so it still counts. Actually, most of the time I was just planning my talking notes for tomorrow's podcast recording, but that's cool. We love to be prepared. Another way to be prepared is to get a good night's sleep though, so good night. Good morning. The body woke us up at 6:30 today, so we've been lying here for approximately 50 minutes, which means it's probably a good time to get up and do some exercise. On the cards for today, live stream, podcast recording, probably other things. There's plenty to do. Technically, Thursday would usually be a half day at work, but one of the projects that I really want to work on is a work project. So, like, it is technically one of my goals that I listed for the 3 months, so I think it counts. Exercising is done, but one of the things that was on my list of goals for our challenge was to release 2 new digital products. And one of them I did get started working on a little earlier in the challenge, made some decent headway with that. The other one I've barely touched, but both of them I feel like I kind of want to try to get them done this week. Is that too much of a stretch? Maybe, but I'm still tempted to give it a go. That means in terms of the live stream today, I'm going to be working on one of them. And then in terms of my afternoon blocks, where it would usually just be for goal work rather than work, it will be work, goal, work. Yeah. One of those is the journal prompt library, which is essentially a space that has a bunch of different journaling prompts written and collected by me, and then another separate space where you can write your own journal entries and you can like tie them to those prompts so that you can see like how many entries you have underneath one certain prompt and stuff like that. And the other one is a Notion recipe book, which comes kind of pre-populated with some of my favorite recipes, just so you can kind of see how it works. You can just go in and delete them if you don't want them, but it's a really nice way to organize your recipes in a way that is searchable, very easily findable, accessible on your phone, so you don't have to take your journal into the kitchen. That's one thing. I love recipe journals. I think that they are a gorgeous like keepsake, memory keeping type thing, but I would be so worried to take them into a kitchen and have food spill on them or something like that, or sit it in a puddle of water or oil or something. Nah. Whereas I always have my phone on me, so having my recipes on my phone via Notion has been very handy. Anyway, to get on with that though, I do need to get in the shower. We have our first casualty. I caught it on the corner of the door and it just ripped straight off. At least it didn't take the nail underneath with it as well. On the live stream today, I'm going to be doing the majority of the typing of the prompts. We're going to see if I can get all of them done. I'm planning for it to be about 2.5 hours, so it should be doable. Fingers crossed. Not gonna lie, feeling pretty dang excited because we now have over 100 prompts in the journal prompt library, which means I think it's pretty much ready to go. Not quite, okay, so I need to go through and add in the tags so that it's really easily searchable and just make sure that like the functionality of it definitely works. This will be like the 6th time that I have checked that. It's been fine the last 4 times. You know, obviously the first time it was still in kind of testing mode and actually building it and stuff like that. But once I've got that kind of sorting functionality in, I then want to make a little tutorial video so people know how to use it, so I can embed it in there so that then they don't get in and just look at it like, I want them to know what my intention was for it and how the functionality of it works so they can make the best use of it. And then I just need to think about getting it like bundled up for release, which is kind of exciting. Just went and filmed the introductory video for Change Your Life 2.0, so we have a little thumbnail for it now. If you want to see that video, I'll have it linked in the description box. But I'm looking forward to another 3 months of the challenge because it's just been really good for me, at least so far, and I know for a lot of other people who have said that they've found it helpful. I like the team camaraderie of it. Like, we're all in this together and we're working on bettering our lives in a variety of ways. It makes it more fun. Things are better with friends. I might have gotten a little swept up in preparing the Change Your Life 2.0 community hub, and now it's 6:30, so should probably go and think about doing something for dinner. Not gonna lie, the day kind of got away on me. I don't even remember what my last check-in was, so general replay of what happened today. Did the live stream, got the journal prompts in there, feeling very positive about that. They do still need to be sorted because pretty much as soon as the live stream was over, I just got distracted by other tasks. I made the introductory video for the Change Your Life Challenge 2.0. That one has been uploaded, it's ready for release. I made the new community hub space for that as well, so that one has also been kind of like pre-released to what is called the secret team over on Instagram. It's essentially a chat space that we have over there, or a broadcast channel or whatever they call it. I'm not down with the Instagram lingo, honestly. And because I was just in some kind of mood today, I did not eat my pre-prepared food. I instead got DoorDash twice, which was choices. I mean, I enjoyed the food, but I probably would have enjoyed my meal prep as well. It's okay. Tomorrow's a new day. We will make better choices then. The podcast that we were supposed to record today got postponed because Mark had some stuff going on at home that just needed to be taken care of instead. Totally fine. Totally fair. I'm free tomorrow, so it's all good. And I managed to get another 2 nails off, so like slow progress. The nail themselves actually still has glue on it, which is kind of naff. But that brings our total to 4 from these 3 and then the 1 on the other hand, which is certainly a look and not one that I want to keep for very much longer. Typing today was such a mission, and I feel like my fingers are really sore now because of it, or at least the ones that still have nails, because there's a lot of just because of the way that my keyboard's structured. It's kind of hard to type with the side of your finger. But I'm feeling quite optimistic about getting the journal library done. I don't know if I'll be able to get the recipe book done as well, especially because we have reading retreat on Saturday, so pretty much the entire of Saturday I'm not going to be working, which is also good because I'm supposed to have a day off. And we have date night tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to. For now though, I'm going to get into bed, probably watch a little bit of Netflix because I'm in the middle of an episode of Worst Ex Ever. Very interesting series. Sad, but interesting. And then after that, I'll probably be going to bed. So, good night. Good morning. Happy Friday. I've put my scrunchie in because I was going to go and do exercise, and now I've kind of laid in bed long enough that I don't want to do it, so I think I might do it later. That's okay. I don't mind doing that. I'm not sure if I'll do it before or after date night, but what I do want to do is get in the shower so I can get my day started because I want today to be a productive day. Yesterday technically was a productive day. It just got a little bit sidetracked with stuff, and Wednesday also was a productive day. Got 2 videos edited, but one of them it wasn't on the cards. It wasn't actually planned for that day, so everything kind of derailed and became a puddle mess. Not today though. Today, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna shower, I'm gonna have my breakfast, and then I'm gonna write a list and do the things on that list. At least that's the plan. Knock on wood. We are feeling much more ready for the day, having breakfast, delicious. And then I realized how out of hand my box corner is getting, and like half of these boxes aren't even empty. I need to go through and take the things out of them, put them away properly. But that is a future me problem. Right now, I'm gonna eat the breakfast and write myself that list. I find working from a list each day just so much more helpful. Like if I've got my stuff written down, those are my priorities, I've set them, then I just need to work my way through. Otherwise, I just flip back and forth between a variety of different things, getting distracted the whole way through. It's not the longest list I've had, but it is definitely longer than I was expecting for the day. So newsletter, inbox tidying instead of inbox zero, because inbox zero is not going to happen. Need to put up the poll for the book club, need to do the podcast tasks, so recording, thumbnail photo, downloading the footage, sending it off to the editing folders. I've also added a couple things in here which are really just like daily routine stuff that I would track somewhere else, but exercise, lunch from home, and date night. Yay. And I'll probably end up with some tasks on here related to tidying up my space because my friends are coming over tomorrow for our reading retreat. So it would be nice to not have to wake up tomorrow earlier than I otherwise would so I can tidy the space up. Yeah. For now though, one of the tasks is about plastering, so this is fixing up the holes in the walls because they are upsetting and still not done. And despite the fact that in theory the company we were talking to had contacted their plastering people, they said like, oh yeah, they'll get in touch with you. It's been like over a week and a half now and I'm like, I just want this done. So I'm gonna see if I can follow that up. Hopefully they give me the name of the people that I should investigate with. Otherwise I'll have to find somebody else. Some progress has been made in terms of figuring out the plastering, and I've also made progress on tidying up our home inbox. I have 3 emails, like personal for like just me, home, so Vogel and I, and then work for anything business related. The work one is always the worst one, and it is the one I am putting off. But the home inbox has been tidied up. I'm in the process of tidying up the personal inbox, which that one only has 8 emails in it currently. It used to have something like 20, so I'm making progress. But most excitingly, we have over 80 members in the new Change Your Life 2.0 community space. And given the fact that I only set it up yesterday, that's pretty exciting for me. I need to make sure I don't get ahead of myself because I'm like, oh, how exciting. Like, you know, new quarter, new goals, new projects to work on. I'm like, yes, but current quarter, current goals, current projects. I don't want to write off the end of this challenge. I've still got things to do. And one of those right now is tidying up my email folders. Making my way down the list of emails, we're making progress and feeling good, but I just got a call from the plasterer, so obviously getting in touch with the people who we were working with has actually helped. And in theory, the plasterer is going to come around at least have a look in about half an hour. So yay, getting things done. Especially as book plasterer was on the list, just ignore the jankiness of that nail, but also start second self-help book. Yeah, I can totally go and put that in. I wrote self-care. I meant self-help, but let's check that off. Not gonna lie, it is a little disheartening that we only have 2 things checked off this list at this point of the week, but but there is still time. I'm probably only going to spend maybe another 20-ish minutes on my inboxes because I'm really just trying to do a tidy. I'm not trying to do a full-blown like inbox zero type thing because after that I want to write the newsletter. And in theory, that shouldn't take too long. Again, famous last words. Why do I even put this out into the world? I tell myself, oh, it's not going to take too long to do the thing, and then it always takes longer than I think it's going to. My time estimating is poor. I think they're here. It was a very quick visit. He has gone and had a look at the different spots that need to be plastered and painted. I didn't realize that they'd do the same thing. It's the same person does the two jobs. That's what I mean. But that means we should get a quote from them pretty soon and then we can book the work in. Yay! For now, it is time to write a newsletter. Newsletter writing is going well. I'm also hanging out on just a kind of group chat and chill type thing in our Discord server. It's nice to have company, but I've also now gotten the plastering and painting booked in for Monday, Tuesday next week. So, you know, I don't want to put it out into the universe and say that it's going to be done before the end of our challenge. But, knock on all the wood, it might be done before the end of the challenge. Newsletter writing is over, so it is time to get set up for podcast recording. I think that might have been one of the longest episodes that we've ever recorded. But it was a very fun conversation about our planner histories and, like, you know, us as planners and how we got into planning and all of that kind of thing. If you wanted to check out the Planner Pals podcast, that one's linked in the description box as well. But for now, I need to take a thumbnail picture and then go and have some lunch because I want to have my home-cooked meal for lunch today, especially because it's date night, so I'm gonna have food out for dinner. A mere 25 minutes later, I have now gotten downstairs and it is in the microwave heating up, but I do need to start thinking about what I'm gonna do to tidy up the lounge room. Like, it's not a right now job or a directly after lunch job, but it's not looking put together. It's also probably not gonna be all that big a job, which means I will procrastinate on it. Hopefully not to the extent of having to do it tomorrow though, because I would like to get it done today. I just think it's nicer when my friends get to come over and it's all set up for us and it feels cozy and nice and wonderful and we can have our reading retreat and not have to worry about Jess being like, Fliz, wait a second, I need to fluff pillows. Time for more journal prompt library work though, so I'm going through all of the journal prompts and just checking that I've added all of the data I want to, but also adding in a description for how the prompt can be used. It doesn't mean people actually have to use the prompt in that way, but it gives people kind of an elaboration so that then if they see the prompt, they're like, how am I expected to use this? Then there are some notes there for them. I may have realized that there was a large chunk of them that I hadn't actually put the data in because I didn't load the full page. Cool. But that's okay, that's a future me problem because right now it's time to go to date night. Date night went super well and we very much enjoyed our food, but even more excitingly is that our photographer has sent through the sample pictures from our wedding album and they're so pretty and I think she did such a good job and memories! Here are a couple of the pictures that she sent through. I just think that we did such a good job in picking her and she did such a good job in photographing the day and capturing all the special moments for us and I'm so excited to get the full set from her. But for right now, I do not want my exercise streak to break. I will not be breaking my exercise streak today, so it is time to get on the walking pad. We also got our wedding videos and they're too cute. But now I actually do need to get on the walking pad because I don't want to break my streak. Isn't it so cute?
Yeah, it's pretty cute, yeah.
He's just sitting here like, yeah, completely unflappable, completely unfazed, and I'm just like,
Yeah, it was very cute. I'm just like, what a nice video.
I'm just like, he got the wedding song in there. It was really cute. Yeah, we only watched like up until the end of the wedding song, and I'm like, okay, I actually do have to walk now.
Yeah.
What are we gonna watch?
You were going to choose.
Yeah, I'm going to choose some kind of murder-esque documentary.
Yeah, it was either we're going to watch K-pop Demon Hunters or we're going to watch some documentary, which I said could have mystery and drama. It didn't have to have murder.
So I'm going to pick one that probably has murder.
She does like her murder. What is it with these white women?
We love a crime doco.
They do.
Exercise is done and we did end up picking something that doesn't have murder, or at least it doesn't yet. Who knows? We're watching a little docu-series about kidfluencing or like child influences. It's pretty interesting so far. We weren't planning on watching all 3 episodes, But we watched all 3 episodes. It was quite interesting. I mean, I always find these kind of things quite interesting. And I think I've had quite a heavy week of watching those types of documentary style series or whatnot, to the extent where I was watching one the other day and I didn't realize that it had changed over from the show that I was watching. It was like a 4-part with 4 separate stories, and I thought I'd only gotten through 3 of them, and it started playing what I thought was the 4th one. It was actually a completely different docu-movie thing, so I was like, well, now I want to finish it, even though it's an hour and a half long. But that's okay. What is less okay is the fact that I did not get on to actually tidying up in the lounge room. So I guess that is now a tomorrow me problem, unfortunately, because my morning's looking a little tight tomorrow. I should be able to get everything done, but I probably could have done future Jess a favor and actually worked on some of that today. Oh well, I'm going to do her a favor right now and go to bed, so good night. Good morning. Happy Saturday. I am going to go do my exercise, and then I'm going to tidy up the lounge room so that my friends have a nice cozy space to be in for our reading retreat. I have no idea what I'm reading today, but I technically have started 2 separate books, and I have another one that I know I have to read this month, so I do have a lineup. Just don't know which one I'm gonna read, and if I actually want to read them. We'll have to wait and see. That's not a right now problem. Realistically, the lounge isn't that bad. I just don't want to tidy it up right now, and I wish I had done it yesterday. But I said, time to get on the walking pad. Well, time to plug it in and then rearrange the furniture and then get on the walking pad. I ended up just doing 20 minutes on the walking pad because I'm feeling a little bit pinched for time, but now it is time to tidy up the lounge room. I don't think it's looking too bad. It's mostly set up. Let's just ignore my extension cable. I'm gonna need to charge my iPad, that's why it's there. And I've also got the doors open so that we can air out the house a little bit because I feel like it probably smells like exercise. I too also probably smell like exercise, so let's go have a shower. Well, I say let's. I'm gonna go have a shower. I'll see you in a second. Yay! Got the cute ghosty jumper on so that we can be super cozy for our reading retreat. But now I need to actually go pick my friends up. Rachel is picking her book for our Sisterhood of the Traveling Book, but she's not too sure at this stage which one she's gonna pick.
I love them all.
They're too good. You let us know, which one do you think she should have picked? I've definitely had enough snacks for at least the next 3 weeks, I swear, but it was a very good day. I finished 2 books, Slow Productivity and The Reaper Incarnate, which is a book that Rachel has been recommending to me for a while. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was just a little one, like a novella or whatnot, but now it is about 10:15 and thus time to think about going to bed, which definitely something I would like because I am so tired. It's funny how sitting on your butt all day can tire you out so much. That being said, I did get more steps today than I have for the rest of the week. So maybe it's a strategy I should try more of. Anywho, good night. Good morning. Happy Sunday. I'm feeling a little bit blah today, and I know that that is in part due to probably eating way too much sugar and salty snacks yesterday. The body needs a vegetable. On the cards for today though, usually it would be meal prep, but I still have lunches at least sorted for next week. I do need to prepare some overnight oat bundle things though, so that then I have something to eat in terms of breakfast. And I was thinking about maybe making a snack as well, but what I really want to focus on is getting the journal prompt library up and ready and released. I think that finishing the week, having that one done, would feel really good. In order to do that, I do need to get out of bed though, which I'm kind of procrastinating because of those bleh feelings. She finally got out of bed, had a shower, had some breakfast, and now she's at her desk. She should probably write a task list for the day, but she hasn't gotten that far, mainly because I just wanted to get straight into work. I'm very much that kind of person where if I feel like a little bit time pressured or like I have a lot to do, my kind of rebel brain kicks in saying, you don't have enough time to write a task list. You need to get things done. Just get to work. So that's essentially what I did. So I've jumped back into the journal prompt library. I've gone and added the description to each of the prompts, and now I just need to go and add in the rest of the data that I am lacking. Thankfully, there's not all too many spaces that I need to fill in, but I do still need to go and fill them in. Those are all the tags that help people filter by different types of prompts, like ones that are going to be quick and easy, ones that are maybe kind of a bit more medium to deep in terms of emotional commitment. Like if you're in a state of mind where you can't do a whole bunch of deep thinking, it'd be nice to be able to filter it by the quick, easy, light prompts. Whereas if you want to get a little bit more kind of like intentional reflection, deep and meaningful with yourself, then I want people to be able to filter out by those too. We are going to use the tiny timer. We're going to use a 10-minute version and get some stuff done. Turn it over. Ta-da! 10 minutes. Let's do it. All done with 40 seconds to spare. Aw, yeah. Now what I want to do is go and add in a couple different templates that people can use for their journal entries. I've got a daily journal and just a regular one in there, but I'd also like a couple others. I figured that having one that was set up as a kind of compare and contrast would be good. So maybe 2 columns of like, a little column A, a little column B, whether that's pros and cons or like whatever they want to label them as. And then maybe another one that had bullet points or something, just so that then there is some kind of like pre-structured stuff that they can pick and choose from if they want to. I may or may not have gotten just a little bit too eager and released the Change Your Life video a day earlier than I intended to. I'm just excited for people to get involved, and I'm just glad that people actually want it around too, because I found it really helpful, or I'm still finding it really helpful. Anyways, back to work on the journal prompt library. I'm going to get it released today. What I now need to think about doing, because I have gone and put those templates in, is making a kind of like tutorial video, just a little one to explain the different sections and how it can be used and such, just because I know not everybody is super familiar with Notion, and I want people to be able to find their way around and use it effectively. I've made myself a general outline of talking points, so I know what I need to describe. And then over here we have the actual recording space, so it is time to get started. Video is made now, so I just need to export it, upload it, and then embed it into the journal prompt library. So while that's doing its thing, I'm gonna first of all open my curtain because it's a sad dark hole of solitude in here, and then I'm going to think about actually getting it uploaded to a space where people will be able to grab it for themselves and actually access it. It's happening! I definitely need to figure out a better picture system for my shop products because I'm not super savvy on this. Notably didn't open the curtain, but anyway, I know there's like a more aesthetic way to list items in the shop, but I don't have the spoons to deal with figuring that out right now. It's one of those things, like I'd rather spend the time, effort, energy on the actual product rather than the listing, even though I know the listing is like the marketing material that means that people actually want it and stuff, and I know my website isn't like super attractive, but it exists and that's sufficient for right now. When it comes to my website, I am very much going with the make it exist and then make it good later type mindset. Of course, just when I'm working on this, I get one of those like fraudulent order chargeback thing claims or whatever, which kind of sucks because the actual cost of the item $3, but then you get a $20 fee put on top of that for having to process the chargeback, so I end up out of pocket $23, which is lame. So given that, I went to investigate. Turns out that I've had a couple of orders been placed from this one random address, like a physical address. So I've gone and investigated like blocking orders that use that address. So I'm sorry if the person who lives there ever actually wants to order from the store, but you can't anymore. That's just really frustrating, but that's okay because the actual journal prompt library, it's been uploaded. It's done, I think. It's been a second since I uploaded something to the little shop. See, there it is. Journaling prompt library. Oh yes, looking excellent. We love it. While the journal prompt library is up and looking good, I think I'm gonna hold off on working on the recipe Notion space until maybe Q4, only because what I really need to do is transfer my recipes from OneNote into Notion, and then once they're all in there, it'll be easier to go and pick and choose ones that I think people would actually get value from. Like, yes, I just want the recipes to be in there as kind of examples for how people can log their own, but I thought it would also be good to have some of my favorites in there for people too. Let me know what you think about that though, because at the moment, really all that's in there is chicken and some meal prep recipes, but we don't have anything in the realm of like drinks or other protein sources or a bunch of other kind of categories that I have. I think it would be good to have some more diversity in that one, and it'll be easier to get that diversity if my personal recipe OneNote is already set up. And now it is 4 o'clock and I feel like I do need to eat something because I kind of shirked having any lunch, but I also want to write in my journal. Food and then journal, maybe? She definitely got distracted by doing other things on her computer and she hasn't moved, and it is 4:38 and she still hasn't eaten. Choices. Supposedly we're leaving to go have dinner with Vogel's family in like 10 minutes, so I might just do my walk because I haven't actually done that today and I want to keep the streak alive, so best to do that. I might just do a short one though because, you know, I say we're leaving in 10 minutes. They said anywhere from like 10 to 40 and I'm like, yeah, alrighty. I can hold out for dinner and just go for my walk. The body will like walking. I got my walk done. I am famished. I am so ready for dinner, so let's go out and do that. We ended up having fish and chips for dinner, which was very tasty, though the body probably could use a vegetable or two. And we ended up playing a board game, which was a bit of fun. But now we are home. I am zonked, but I'm also incredibly sore. 1 time a month. Tom has returned. Sad face. 2, not shown yesterday, was Rachel, Monica, and I doing a bunch of stretches, and I have ruined my legs. My legs are so sore. Walking was fine, like getting my exercise done, keeping the streak alive, all good. But just like general sitting and then getting up and that kind of stuff, so uncomfy. It's cool, just a reminder that I need to do more stretches. Probably wait until I'm less sore to do them, because last time I was this sore and I stretched on top of that soreness, it was terrible idea. I don't want to do that to myself again. For now though, I do want to write myself just a little task list for tomorrow so that I at least have some idea about what's going on. I never ended up getting into my journal today to write down what I needed to do. So despite being called my everyday journal, she did not touch it today. But that's okay. I don't actually mind because I don't want to end up like, you know, beating myself up because, oh, you're supposed to use your journal every day and this isn't what consistency looks like and rah, 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 rah. That just puts like bad juju out into the world. Makes me feel bad about like my journaling practice, which is not going to incentivize me to get in and use it. We're just going to give ourselves some grace, be like, it's cool. Obviously, you had other things to prioritize today instead of getting in and putting things down into your journal. Would they have been helpful? Yes. But that is okay. We will put in tomorrow's plans, we will have a list to work from, and we will get even more stuff done. One thing that I do want to do before I go to bed though is just put up a little post to say, hey, the journaling library got released, you know, go check it out if you want to. Because I had originally come up with the idea in like March, floated it with the team in April, and it's only now getting sorted. So a decent amount of time that I've been, you know, toying around working on it and such. It feels good to have that one done. Once that post is typed up though, and I've gone and written my little list, it's gonna be time to get into bed because I am zonked. Both the body and the mind could use some rest. So now for something completely different. And while I could definitely take this like, so close. But today, main focus is, what the hell was that? It was Vogel. He's downstairs. Suck it, sick. The sink is looking much tidier now as, wow. That combined with the fact that it felt like, I actually quite been, she should probably write a ta-da. No. That combined with the fact that it was like unseasonably warm. The sun keeps getting me. Not gonna lie, I am pretty proud of myself for at least getting one of those items into the shop. So if you wanted to check out the journaling prompt library for yourself, that one's linked in the description box below. Or you can scan the QR code on screen here to check it out. But more excitingly, we do have Change Your Life 2.0 coming up for Q4 of this year. This one is very similar to the challenge that we've run thus far, but a little bit different. And if you wanted to have all of the details about how to get involved, then this video is the next one to check out. That one takes you through what the challenge is, how it's going to be run this second time. So click or tap on that one and I'll see you over there.